Thanks for joining me as I'm kind of between two ferns tonight as I talk about episode 9 of the first season of the horror anthology series Monsters. So this one's called Pool Sharks and it first aired in 1988. So Pool Sharks is a yet another example of just how creative this cool little 80s anthology series was, and just how creative that horror anthology series or fantasy or sci-fi anthology series can be when they hit all the right marks and everything goes according to the alignment of the stars. So Monsters has always been a bit of a sentimental favourite for me. I first saw this episode. This was the very first episode of Monsters that I ever saw as a kid. I think it was back in 1988 from memory on late night television. And the basic premise of Pool Sharks is it's kind of like The Hustler meets Near Dark, I guess is the best way to describe it. So we have this pool hustler called Natasha, who's playing a mortician of all things in a game of pool. She's playing the mortician for dollars and kisses, and basically she's ready to take the shirt right off of his back, but not in the way that he's hoping, which is in some cheap motel room, but in actual fact taking the shirt off his back by playing the demure, naive, babbling beauty and basically hustling him out of everything that he's worth in this game of pool, or these series of games of pool. But they're interrupted by a guy called Gabe, who is something of a pool hustler himself, and he happens upon this bar. He has in actual fact been tracking Natasha for quite some time. As Gabe says in the episode, he's tracking this beautiful woman from a bar here, a pool hall there, and everywhere he goes, he finds that young men are rather, I guess you'd call them rather toey or randy young men, keep going missing after being seen with Natasha in all of these pool halls and bars and all of these dingy little dives where she's basically going out as this nocturnal pool hustler looking to take advantage of predominantly young, dumb and full of the proverbial male pool players who think they're better at pool than they actually are. So Gabe basically he kicks the ass of the mortician who's playing Natasha, much to his chagrin and much to her chagrin, and basically challenges Natasha to a game of pool. But the stakes are higher than they usually are down at your local RSL club or your dive bar or your pool hall if you're in the States. We don't really have them here much. And Natasha basically makes him a bet that he can't refuse. And the bet is basically the winner gets to do whatever they like to the loser, which sounds wonderful in theory. And probably sounded wonderful to Gabe's brother, who was one of the guys that went missing while being last seen with Natasha. But it is a darker proposition than it sounds at face value. So that is Pool Sharks in a nutshell. I won't give away too much more about this one, but you'll probably guess where it's going. It's got a few twists and turns. This is one of the early horror anthology episodes that really made me have a soft spot for horror anthology, whether it's horror film anthologies like Creepshow or Vault of Horror, or television horror anthologies like Monsters and Tales from the Darkside and Tales from the Crypt and so on and so forth. So the thing I always love about anthologies is that they're very, how do I say, there's an economy of dialogue, there's an economy of locations, and there's an economy of time to all of the best horror anthologies. And Pool Sharks is no different. So generally all of the best horror anthology series take place in one location with only 2 or 3 primary cast members, as is the case here. We only have Gabe, our hero. We have Natasha, our villain. We have, I think he's called Lester, the mortician. And there is the barkeep. I think he's called Cappy or something like that. So he's the cliche barkeep. So not many cast members, just a single location, which is the pool room of this dive bar. And the whole episode has this cool 3 a.m. in the morning vibe, a lot like Near Dark. It'd be a cool one to watch just before or just after Near Dark, I guess, if you're wanting to whet your appetite before diving into the Catherine Bigelow vampire thriller. You could do a lot worse than checking out this episode of Pool Sharks. It is available here on Amazon, as are a lot of the old episodes of Monsters. So this series was always quite sentimental to me. I discovered it with Pool Sharks, and then I basically scoured the local television guide. This was a series on late night television here in Australia. They didn't show it a great deal of respect. Sometimes it'd be on at 10:30 at night, sometimes 1 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning. So this was back in the day where you either had to set your alarm to wake up and watch it, or set your VCR, which is probably what so many of us did. And there were so many good episodes of Monsters, some that spring to mind, of course, mainly from the first season. Episodes like Pillow Talk and New York Honey, the Glim Glim, and the Fever Man. Where's the Rest of Me as well, which I've discussed on the channel before. But this is the one that I saw first, the one that got me hooked. Has a great smoky 3 a.m. in the morning vibe, great jazz soundtrack. The performances are surprisingly strong from Natasha and Gabe, and even old Lester, and even old Cappy, or Happy, the bartender. And this is an episode that you will find yourself revisiting from time to time, much like a lot of these classic television horror anthology series, whether they're old episodes of Night Gallery or old episodes of Tales from the Darkside, even old episodes of The Twilight Zone or Thriller. These shows all hold up surprisingly well, and they are a bit of a sentimental reminder of back in the day before network television was overrun by things like infomercials and 0055 number advertisements and so on and so forth. Back in the day, believe it or not, you could watch late night television and catch something. Excuse me. Oh, I'm choking. Just like just like Lester does in Pool Sharks when he misses that shot. So where was I? So back in the day, late night television was a different beast. We didn't have things like streaming services, of course, and home video was fairly limited to what you could rent. You couldn't really buy that much on video. You had to circumvent the system if you wanted to build a respectable home video collection. So a lot of the time we were watching late night horror on television, things like AIP movies from directors like Burt Gordon, and of course random mixed up episodes of late night horror television like Monsters, which was of course I believe produced by Laurel Entertainment, which was Richard Rubenstein, and I think George Romero was involved as well. It was kind of the same creative team behind Tales from the Darkside, but I believe it was on a lower budget, a much lower budget. And even though that shows, this series does have a certain charm. There's so many good episodes. I'll probably dive into these occasionally. And this is the first one, so we'll see how it goes. If you enjoyed this one, if you enjoy monsters, let us know in the comments, and like, share, or subscribe. I'm kind of doing these videos on a fairly more casual basis these days, because I think everyone's burnt out on too much information, and there's a lot of content out there, and I don't know, you kind of feel that it is basically your, not so much your duty, but it is your, or maybe it is your duty, is to really focus on making videos about things that you are keen on and passionate about, rather than just endeavouring to make a video every few days and perhaps letting the quality kind of be all over the place. So this channel will continue going sporadically, I guess, but the videos will probably be coming more likely once a week, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be uploading videos every day and causing a big, ugly, noisy, water-chewing data center to be built in your hometown. That's the last thing that we want. So maybe there's a lesson in that for all of us, that we should all be a little bit more sparing in the content that we're, not only the content that we're making, but also the content that we're viewing. And less is most definitely more, and that'll probably be this channel moving forward. So I'll keep doing these videos about strange and unusual cult cinema, and in this case, strange and unusual cult television, and occasionally random musings as the urge arises. But regardless, if you enjoy this video, like, share, and subscribe. If you have any special memories about monsters or about pool sharks, or any thoughts about pool sharks, by all means, let us know in the comments. And otherwise, I'm off to enjoy the last bit of my evening. As you can see, kind of between two ferns. And I hope you are as well. And until next time, take it easy.